Hello, so as you saw in my last video, I was shooting some cardboard and a water bottle with my bow and my slingshot. Now I'm going to tell you how to shoot them. Okay, so there are a few things you should know. I mean, I'm not really an expert, I don't know that much, but I know a few of the basics. So one of it is pretty much just based on muscle memory. So when you shoot, it's hard for me to get on camera here, but when you shoot, you start down and you pull up. Well, there's two ways. You can start in front of you and draw back, or you can sort of start having it down next to your legs and pull it up like that to where you're going to shoot it. So those are pretty much the two ways. I usually start down here and pull up part. As you can see, I'm not really gripping the back of the arrow properly either. I should be gripping it like this, but it doesn't work when I try to do it like that. So I just want to let you guys know that in case you were wondering. But anyways, what's another thing I should tell you? Another thing that I don't have properly here is that, as you can see, the arrow extends too far from this. Now that's for a few reasons. One, because it sometimes breaks, and I like to, keep using it. And I like to put the nail back in because this is a homemade arrow. And another reason that is because I might want to advance to like a longer, more powerful bow. So I don't know what I'm going to need. But yeah, again, I don't have the best stuff. That's pretty much how. And then what I usually do is I stare at right where I want to shoot the whole time as I'm drawing, and I pull and I keep staring and I shoot. And then of course there's the anchor point. So like you might want to draw back to like your nose or your eye. But it's like repetition, so you do the same thing every time you shoot. You draw back in the same way. So if you shoot like this, then you do it like this every time. If you shoot like me, you do it like this every time, and you pull it back to the same anchor point, and you stand in the same position. So, yeah, that's definitely one thing. And then another thing I wanted to point out is, this may seem like somewhat inappropriate to some of you guys, but when you shoot a bow, you stare intensely at the target, and it's pretty much like you pretty much stare at it like you're staring at boobs, pretty much. That's the only way I can really put it. I know it sounds kind of quirky and inappropriate for some of you guys, but it really works. My aim improved an awful lot when I started staring at my target like that. So, yeah. That's what it gets from me missing it all those times. But also, one thing I said about my bow not being too good, being pretty crappy. I mean, I've shot this bow and it went like far away, and because I have like nail-tipped arrows, it went straight into a tree, like, and sunk almost down to the shaft, and even the blunt force trauma, like when I accidentally hit the wall. Like the shaft will go into it. So as crappy as it is, I mean, I'm sure it'll still kill someone, and probably, maybe would still kill a deer. I don't know what it takes to kill a deer. And I'm betting it could probably puncture someone's skull. I mean, I wouldn't want to put my skull in front of it. So if you want to use this, if I want to use this to defend my home, like straight across the room, you saw all those holes I put in that piece of cardboard right here. See, every one of those holes would have been somewhere on my chest. And I'm pretty thin, so I'm guessing if some big bad guy breaks into your house, you stick that in them, no, they're probably not going to keep going, unless they're like Boromir or something. But your average housebreaker inner is not some strong warrior like Boromir. One arrow is probably going to kill him, or he's just going to run off. Oh, yeah. That's pretty much. Yeah, so there's. Oh, yes. Another thing, one more thing is that I told you I'd show you how to shoot a slingshot. So, here it is pretty much. It's just the same as shooting a bow, really. You draw back to your anchor point, you stare. Sometimes I stand straighter when shooting my bow. My slingshot. One thing you might want to realize is that you can get I think that point there's a sight that was broken. I bought this at like a flea market sort of a thing. But if you can look at it from between the two points, like these 2 points here, it'll really help your aim out an awful lot. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty much the same. And then I have this ankle brace, which may affect things a bit, which I don't actually need. Like the ankle brace actually, I'd say, helps with accuracy because it keeps my arm stable, but at the same time, it kind of strains your motion a bit. So yeah, and this is a decently powerful slingshot. And as you can see, that's actually better, much better with this slingshot because that's, arrows are sort of awkward and long, whereas just little marbles, go right through it. So, yeah, much better with the slingshot. But of course, the slingshot is going to be less lethal, even with steel balls, unless you have like a really powerful York Sprave or York Sprave slingshot, which I don't think most people can draw a slingshot like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's all for now. Auf Wiedersehen.